Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm giving you all of my top tips and advice for garage sailing. All right, if you're new here, hi, I'm Claire, welcome. Come on in and make yourselves comfortable. I love a bit of budget content over here. So things like thrifting, budget cooking, easy, cheap meals and budget lifestyle, all that kind of stuff is over here. So if you like that type of content, be sure to hit subscribe. Now today we're talking garage sales because I've already been garage sailing a few times this year. And if you like some of the stuff you see in my house, well, I probably got it either at the thrift store, the Facebook marketplace, or a garage sale. And out of those three things, garage sales are usually going to have the cheapest prices compared to other types of secondhand shopping, which is why we especially love it. So whether you are a very experienced garage sailor or someone who is maybe just starting to dabble in the world of garage sailing, I thought I would share some of my best tips with you. All right, starting off strong with tip number one is how do we find the garage sales? So first of all, Facebook is my favorite place to find garage sales. A lot of times people will make a Facebook event and I'll just go ahead and look at events and type in garage sale and see what pops up. If you don't already belong to a Facebook page for your neighborhood, most neighborhoods, I mean, depending where you live, but most neighborhoods or apartment complexes or subdivisions have a Facebook page, and that's a great place to start in your own neighborhood when it comes to garage sales. My neighborhood has one every year and people post on there when it's coming up. I know a lot of the neighborhood Facebook pages are closed pages, so it's hard to see what other people's neighborhoods are doing. But basically, I just ask all my friends. Like all of my friends all live in a neighborhood as well. And even like my mom, I'll be like, hey, when is your neighborhood garage sale? She'll be like, Memorial Day. Perfect, throw it on the calendar. Her neighborhood, that's what we're gonna do that weekend. There's a really big neighborhood in my city that has the top tier garage sale weekend. And my cousin lives in that neighborhood. So I just text her and I say, when is the neighborhood sale this year so I can put it on my calendar? So everyone you know, even if you are not part of that neighborhood Facebook page, usually the people you know are in their own neighborhoods. My next tip, a little controversial. I think that the best time to go to see the most stuff and to see like the best, most sought after items is about a half an hour after the garage sale starts. Some people will tell you to be there early, and there are always gonna be that group of early birds that tries to get in there. Usually people who are like reselling stuff or like flea market pickers and stuff are gonna get in real early. I find in general, especially if it's a neighborhood garage sale, if the signs, if the Facebook posts, if they all say, hey, neighborhood garage sale starting at 9 a.m., most people are not gonna have their stuff together enough to be open directly at 9 a.m. Most people at 9:30 are still bringing boxes and getting stuff set up. I just have really found the average person is not that punctual. So I think that if you wait about a half an hour after the initial start of the sale, you have the best chance of seeing the most items. And you know, you'll have some people who still bring new stuff out all day long, stuff the next day. Obviously, this doesn't work for everybody, but if your goal is to get like those mostly sought after items that people are really hunting for, I go after the first half hour. My next tip is actually the absolute opposite of that tip. So the last tip was really if you're wanting to get those sought after items. This tip is for if you want to get the absolute cheapest items or the very best deal on stuff. And this is great if you're looking for clothes because most people have a lot of clothes left at the end. And the average person is going to box all that stuff up and take it to the thrift store at the end of the garage sale. So my next tip is actually to wait till like the last couple hours of the last day of the garage sale to go. And this doesn't always work because sometimes people will pack it up early or maybe they only participate in one day of the garage sale. Like obviously that happens if it's a multi-day garage sale. But I don't go with like the last hour because I think people usually pack up. But like in the afternoon of the last day, people are way more likely to give you really good deals because they want to get rid of stuff. And if I need clothes for the boys, shoes, things like that, a lot of garage sales have most of that stuff left at the end a lot of times. And that's when you're gonna get a fill a bag for $1. That's when you can say, hey, I'll give you this for all of this. And people are way more likely to say yes at the end. So if your end goal is to save the most money and get the best deals on things, The very end of the garage sale is when you do that. My next tip is one that I don't always follow, and I have been burned by it in the past, and that is to ask to test out an item that is electronic. If you are plugging it in, most people, if they're in the garage, there's usually an outlet there. And sometimes I even go to garage sales that will have like a power strip set up, which I think is amazing if there's like a ton of electronics there. You can't just take someone's word for it. And a lot of times maybe like this lamp has been sitting in storage for a decade. Like maybe the people who are selling it to you also don't even know if it works. So if it's something that plugs in, I always ask, do you mind if I just plug this in really quick to make sure that it works? And I know that's like a simple thing, but I have done this more than one time where I've gotten home and plugged a thing in and it does not work. My next tip is for those who like to garage sale for furniture. And not just furniture, maybe like art or like larger things like that. Like that chair came from a garage sale. That piece of art, the big like Van Gogh style piece, that was from a garage sale. And the thing I have for you is to make a little file in your phone, or maybe write it on a Post-it if that's easier, of some measurements. You know, if you're looking for a coffee table, write down like, oh, no bigger than this many inches, or no taller than this many inches if that's the height of your sofa. Write down the dimensions of the space you need. And adversely, bring a tape measure with you. If you are going for furniture, bring a cheap little tape measure with you. It does not take up a lot of space, and that way you're not accidentally buying some big piece of furniture that now you're stuck with and does not fit in the space that you're trying to fill, because that has also happened to me before. And another little trick that I know is that a dollar bill, like a US dollar bill, is 6 inches. So in a pinch, you could measure something with a bill, and I have used that a lot of times, not for anything like super big, but that has come in handy in times where I'm like, oh shoot, I have no idea what size this is and if it will fit where I need it to go. So make sure that you're thinking of that if you're someone who loves furniture or larger items. My next tip is a very simple tip that shouldn't even be a tip anyway, but I feel like I should share it, and that is you need to haggle. And I know not everyone is comfortable with that. Personally, it's taken me absolutely years to feel comfortable saying out loud to someone, would you take this for it? I don't know, like garage sales feel really personal to me. You know, these are people's items. A lot of them are things that they once loved or cherished, or things that are their taste. You know, it feels very personal to go through someone's things. And I was always like, wow, like asking someone to pay less for something, like I think your things are worth less than you're asking. It made me so uncomfortable. And my husband would be like, that's ridiculous. You know, it's not that deep. The worst thing they'll say is no. And if they were uncomfortable selling their things, they would not do a garage sale. So it's fine. And I've started becoming more comfortable with it. In the last couple of years, I've gotten really good at it. Definitely, like, obviously you don't want to like lowball because then people won't take you seriously. But I find the best way to haggle is to offer like multiple items at a discount. Like I'll be like, oh, would you do both of these things for $5? And like that usually works. People hardly ever say no. Like they might counter with like $1 more or something, but I've really rarely have someone be like, no, all my prices are firm. Like that doesn't really happen that often at a garage sale. Most people just want to get rid of the stuff. My next tip is to utilize Google Lens to get more information about the things that you're buying. If you have Google on your phone, you just open the Google app, you click the little camera button, and it opens Google Lens. And you can just take a picture of a thing and it will give you information, maybe like eBay listings for it, or like pictures of other people selling it. This is a great way to know if something you're looking at is as valuable as the person selling it thinks it is. It will help you know, like maybe you're getting a crazy good deal on something. It will just give you more information about the thing. Maybe it's like a fake version of something, or maybe it's missing a part that you didn't realize until you looked at the Google Lens picture of it. I use Google Lens all the time when I'm thrifting. I'll be like, is that a real blah, blah, blah? And I'll be like, oh no, it's not, or something, you know, especially because I love antiques and I have a lot of really old stuff in the house. So Google Lens really helps me identify something that's like actually old, or like a maker's mark, to see like where it came from and whatnot. And that's really helpful for me. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely Google Lens is your best friend. My next tip also is a phone one, but I guess you could also write it down in like a little notebook if you wanted to as well. But keep track of things that you're on the hunt for. A lot of times, if I'm like doing a thing and I'll be like, oh, I really could use like a canister for flour. Mine is too small or mine is broken. Write it down like in your notes app or like make a note of it somewhere. And that way when you're like either thrifting or when you're garage sailing, you can pull up things that you forgot you said you were looking for, if that makes sense. I also do this for like my friends and family because everybody knows I'm like a thrifting garage sailing queen. So I'll have so-and-so say like, oh, I'm looking, my mom should be like, I'm looking for a Pampered Chef bar pan because I broke mine. So if you find one, grab it for me. I open the notes app, I write that in there. And that way, if I come across one, I'm reminded that I'm looking for one. Also, what is helpful in that same note or thing you're writing is write down everybody's size. Like I have a file that has like my kids' shoe sizes. I know like their clothing sizes because those haven't changed in a while and they're almost in the same size, which makes things easier and complicates things a little at the same time. But like when their shoe sizes change, I make sure I note that. Or like if so-and-so is looking for a thing, I write down the size I'm looking for. That way, when we're out garage sailing, I can really easily reference to make sure that I have the right sizes of things. And that will save you a lot of money for buying new stuff and will definitely prevent you from accidentally buying something that's not gonna fit. My next tip is to keep tote bags or sometimes even like a plastic bin works really well in your car while you're garage sailing, because sometimes like a garage seller will give you a bag. If you buy like a lot of items, they might have bags for you, but sometimes you might just be buying one item at this garage sale and one item at that garage sale, and all of a sudden your car is full of single items, and then when you get home, you gotta try to bring it all inside, and it's a huge pain. So when I go, I have like a big Aldi bag, I've got like a big blue IKEA bag, that works amazing. And I just keep that in the back of my car and I just fill the bag as I'm garage sailing, and that way I can bring it inside and it just makes things easier. My next tip is to use a fanny pack. I love a fanny pack or like a sling bag or like, what do they call them? A belt bag. There's a lot of names for them these days, but I love the kind of purse or bag that is hands-free. And I like a fanny pack because it's like right in front. Like I like that instead of like a side bag. And also, fanny packs, genderless. It doesn't matter your gender. You can wear a sling bag. My husband has one. It's not like an overly lady thing to do. Everyone can wear a bag and be cool. So we love a fanny pack because it gives me both my hands and I don't have to like worry about like the heaviness of a shoulder bag and whatnot. And that's like an easy way for me to be hands-free, able to look through tables, look through boxes and bins and however, people have things set up a lot of different ways at garage sales. But I like having both my hands free and my money in front of me, and that works really well. My next tip also has to do with money, is that you should keep a variety of small bills and quarters when you go garage sailing. I am still surprised that even in 2025, so many garage sales still have incredible prices. 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. We love it, okay? And make sure if you've got enough change with you, then that's not gonna prevent you from getting a thing if the person at the garage sale who's selling it doesn't have change. If you have plenty of ones and plenty of quarters with you, that is definitely just gonna make things quicker. Your transactions are gonna be faster. And honestly, we keep a big jar of change, like throughout the year. And then when we go garage sailing, we just dump the change out and we take all the quarters and it works out perfectly for us. And yeah, I just think having that on hand is easy. Also, nowadays, I'm also finding a lot of people are accepting digital money. Like you can use Venmo or Cash App, which I also think is really cool. Just like adds another layer of sort of accessibility for payment options. So that's something to think about as well. If you use those apps, like maybe think about downloading them if you don't have Cash App or Venmo, because that makes things even simpler, cashless. So if you like that vibe, maybe think about that. And my very last tip is always, always, always put some extra money in your wallet for the lemonade stand. I remember as a kid feeling so special anytime anyone wanted to buy one of my cookies or my Rice Krispie treats or my little cups of lemonade at my family's garage sales. And I think that it's just a really great way to, be happy and spread some joy because it's always a kid. There's always a kid selling lemonade. And if you're gonna be in the garage sale community, you gotta keep everybody happy. You gotta support those kids. So make sure you do that too, because those kids will appreciate it way more than you know. And there you go. I know none of those tips were really very groundbreaking, but maybe something to keep in your back pocket as you head out there to score some great deals at garage sales. It's funny, I've never actually had a garage sale personally myself as an adult. It's kind of like a rule I try to keep because I'm like a person who doesn't like clutter. I really try to like keep the rule that I never have enough extra stuff to need to have a garage sale. I usually utilize like Facebook Marketplace if I have like something expensive I wanna like resell. But other than that, I just donate things to the thrift store. I don't know if I'm ever going to be a person that actually has a garage sale, but I love, love, love going to them. My whole house is full of garage sale finds, and I'm wishing everyone out there the best of luck as they head out there and hunt for some treasures. Of course, leave me a comment down below. Let me know, what's your greatest garage sale hack? Here's one. What's your greatest garage sale find? Have you ever had a find so insane at a garage sale that you just like couldn't believe it? And anytime anyone asks you about it, you say, can you believe it? I got it at a garage sale. Because I do that for all sorts of stuff in my house. Anyway, I would love to hear if you've ever had like a crazy find. Of course, hit subscribe if you like this type of content, and come on back for more. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!